Hi, this is Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, and you're listening to Get Going with Guy, a podcast where hypocrisy has no home. All right, guys, this is a fast, quick, and dirty podcast today. I just want to give you an update. Here's the bottom line up front. We, the United States government, lost a major court case against a Chinese cell phone company called Xiaomi. Now, let me just give you the context for this. So there is a little known provision, CCMC. This is the Chinese Communist Military Company List. It was established back in the 1990s to make sure that we in the United States did not invest in companies that are controlled by the Chinese military, which of course is a a communist group, the Chinese control, that is set to undermine the United States and the West around the world. So enter Xiaomi. Xiaomi is a large smartphone company. It's actually the second largest smartphone company in the entire world. And what the Chinese are doing through what's called military civilian infusion, where every civilian company, where every civilian is actually an asset of the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. See, in China, there's no distinction between the private companies, private citizens, and the military. Everything is all one and the same, controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. But this company, Xiaomi, is the second largest cell phone company in the world. And President Trump put this company on the CCMC list. Again, a list to make the United States divest from these companies because we don't want to fund the PLA. Fast forward, Xiaomi files suit. The Pentagon put on a defense. I would argue the defense was lackluster, but I don't want to second guess these attorneys, but the U.S. government failed to make the case that Xiaomi was controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. I have no idea how they lost that case because I could have prosecuted and litigated this case all day long, and I would have got the judge to take what's called judicial notice of the military civilian infusion in China. I would have entered evidence showing that Xiaomi's founder and owner, that he had started another company which actually won an award in China for military civilian infusion. And I would have shown that other nations have recognized the control and got rid of these cell phones. And I'll get to that soon. But how they lost is beyond me. So now Xiaomi can operate with not U.S. taxpayer money, but with dollars coming in from the United States. It allows them to spread their cell phones around the world. And with those cell phones, they can do data collection. They can also censor words. We know they're already censoring things like Free Tibet, Taiwan, anything that has a religious connotation or overtone to it, democracy, for example, Hong Kong resistance, all that is censored. So when you have these phones, you can't even text or share that information, or at the very least, it's flagged. And if you think that this is just some overreaction, let me just end by talking about Lithuania. Lithuania, the tiny Baltic state that has a backbone of steel, I might add, recently they said that if you have a Chinese cell phone, it has to be, or you should throw it away immediately. They recognize immediately the threat of censorship, the threat of backdoor spying, and they know full well the threat of the military-civilian fusion within communist China. Despite this, despite the actions of nations like Lithuania, we still lost here in the United States. Xiaomi was able to win against the United States in our own courts, and now ultimately it will help China try to overtake the United States. Thankfully, we have countries like Lithuania. I'd put Australia in that list. I'd put for certain Taiwan in the list, who despite the West that used to be, I would say, led by the United States, despite our acquiescence to communist China, despite Joe Biden and Democrats refusing to hold China accountable, at least we have Western allies like Lithuania, Australia, Taiwan. I put Japan on that list too, that will still fight to resist the communist China aggression that we're seeing coming from mainland China. All right, that's it for today, gang. I'll see you next time. And as always, just call me Guy.